Hello, this is Lisa Ruzick with the podcast We Are All Psychic. And today we have a doppelganger, Lisa. She's our guest today. Lisa, would you like to say hello?
Lisa, yes, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm really delighted to be with you and everyone who's listening and watching.
And you are just made my day, and I'll tell them why in a minute. But first, I have to ask you, do you think we're all psychic?
I do, absolutely. And people might use different language for that. Being psychic means utilizing your intuition that we are all born with. And I think we haven't been taught enough, Lisa, how to tap in to our intuition that is constant guidance through our bodies. And we can learn to enhance our psychic abilities as well through classes and through seminars and really use that as a superpower in our lives.
Yeah, it's our innate thing we can do.
Mhm.
We have so much fiction about it for all of what we know of as man time, human time. All our novels, not all of them, but many of our novels are about magic and
Mhm.
mystery of the world. What's life about? And they find it. They
Yes.
find the
Yeah.
answer maybe in the novel. But that's what everyone is interested in. And ultimately, in a novel, is escape their life or find the answer to it.
Yes.
Or fun,
Yes.
enjoy their life. I was a writer, so that's like a metaphor for me. So, how did you get to that answer? Where were you? Were you raised around a family that was accessible, understood this stuff or anything?
I was never directly educated about or told about our intuition and psychic
Yeah,
gifts and energy healing and such, but my own life has brought me to it. And I've always been very curious, even as a child. And I think those of you who are curious, who are empathic, who are highly sensitive, this is kind
yes,
of like an innate ability you have. And the more that you can do to enhance your understanding of how that knowledge wants to come through you to make your life
yeah.
easier, I think the better our lives are going to be. So I've just really jumped into taking intuitive development and psychic development classes and really wanting to learn
Yeah.
all that I can because I find that it does help my life flow more easily.
It
Do you find that?
does. That's the
Yeah.
whole point to embracing it, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's made my life just so much better than it sucked before.
Yes.
I thought
Yes.
it sucked. I perceived it as sucking, and a lot of
Hmm.
what I had to do was retrain the way I looked at my life.
Yes. Me too.
And that is
Yes.
energy work to me.
Hmm.
It's also mental work and emotional work and all of it. And like how did you find it though? You said like all this here and there, or did you go find your interests? Like, did
You
you
know,
like, go after what you really were curious about, or
I
did
think
things come to you?
it was a bit of both. I think I naturally knew from when I was in my early 20s that I wanted to be a psychotherapist. And so starting therapy school at Tulane in my 20s and learning about working with people and so I think it was a natural fit. Like when clients would come in, I kind of would see this map and I didn't know that that was my intuition and like Claire sentience and all
Our
these things.
cognizance, you just knew, right? You just
Yes,
had
the
the no
clairs. Like I kind
nos.
of, yeah, I kind of saw a map over someone's head, like how their things connected. And I
Ooh,
never knew till much later that's a gift and an ability. And so I think I just always went with whatever it was that I sensed. And later in life, I learned that there's names to it. So I
me
encourage people.
too.
Yeah, you too. Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
I had
Yeah,
a
I.
guest. We had a podcast called Self Taught with, I think his name was Rich. And that was what it was about. He had caught the podcast where I talk about how I was self taught. And I'd never did a podcast just about that. And he's like, let's do that. Talk about how we taught ourselves. So it sounds like you did that as well. And for me personally, it was a lot of work with spirit guides.
Yeah.
That's how it really worked for me. That's how I really
Okay.
got introduced to it, through a lot of daydreaming and a lot of thinking and a lot of talking to my spirit guide, which I thought was daydreaming,
That's really cool.
and the other spirits. I didn't know what they were. I just thought I was a writer, so I thought they were my characters. And I
Yeah.
knew they were more than that, but I didn't know what that meant,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but then, like you said, you found the words, and that was really helpful, right? Was it not helpful to find something other people had this word and you can experience it? And
Exactly. Yeah, I took here in Los Angeles, I started taking psychic development classes from my Reiki master teacher. And I also got certified in Reiki, like I know you are. And I just really dove into all the all the classes out here that were available that I hadn't been exposed to in New Orleans, but I've learned that it's all happening in New Orleans too. I think I just wasn't ready at that point until I came to Los Angeles. And it's like I blossomed here and really was so interested in all of it.
That's really great. That's a great place for it too. I've had a few guests from there, and regular guests. Jennifer Love is in LA. She hasn't been on the podcast in a while, but she's one of my favorites. She has taught me so much about love. It's ridiculous. Like I was a complete idiot anyway about love, but she helped me out some, you know.
Good,
She cleared out, like she can put like love, and I guess being in LA and dating, maybe you can attest to this or not, I don't know, but she really was like, I'm finding the one, I'm going out here and I'm dating at 40, you know. That's kind of where I am, except I'm 50 and dating, you know. And so she really helped me kind of like, and she had found a relationship, so I watched her go from, you know, I met her when she was single.
Wow.
Marriage. And so she kind of watched me get divorced and then go through that. So she helped me a lot, you know?
Wow, that's really beautiful.
Yeah. So I think, I have some people I should get you in touch with in LA. If you
I love it. Yeah. Thank you.
Field, you know, that I've met. And I think you would really enjoy each other's company because
thank you.
You're easy to talk to. And
so are you.
We all need people to talk to in this industry, don't we?
Yes, we do. We do.
It's true. So when did you really have, did you always, I feel like there was an aha moment for you. Was there? Like you were just like, okay. Was there, or did you just kind of grow into it?
I think I really grew into it. And again, in Los Angeles, I started going to a meditation center here called Lake Shrine, the Self-Realization Fellowship. And I started to go to meetup groups that were focused on meditation. So I really wanted to become a meditator. And I encourage you, if you don't meditate, to do a 30-day experiment, to sit down for 5 minutes. And I love the YouTube guided meditations. I found a 4-minute meditation, Lisa, and I just listened to it every morning for a month. And I felt like I was happier and my life got better. So I would do these little experiments to play with a new tool that I wanted I wanted to incorporate and see what happened. If I didn't like it after 2 weeks or 30 days, I could throw it out. But I just really was all about the experiences of that.
And I have a kind of interest. I mean, to me, it's an interesting question. As a psychotherapist, how is this is in your field? How is this received? This techniques that you're trying?
I think the field is finally embracing them.
Good.
Yeah, I see
that
mindfulness
me when I was a kid. And my therapist was a white witch. She told me afterwards.
Wow.
She said I asked her if she was a white witch. I don't remember asking her, but she did tell me that I asked her that when I was young in my 20s and saw her, you know. Okay. She made the biggest impact in my life of all the people I've met, as far as the way I think, and changed my life, you know.
Yes.
She was a white witch.
So I'm glad to see the field is reflecting this paradigm.
This was in my 20s and the 90s.
That's amazing.
Yeah, in Alabama.
The universe really led you to each other.
Oh, yeah. It really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she saved my life. She probably did. A lot of people have saved my life, but she's one of them.
Including yourself. You saved your life.
Me too, yeah.
First and foremost.
You're right.
By being open to receiving. You're welcome. Just to remind you.
Yeah, you did. Thank you. Keep remembering that. Yeah. I do keep fighting, you know, and I think you do too. And that's something listeners, we wanted to talk about. There goes my microphone right when I have to talk about what we're talking about. Fell over. Psychic podcast. We're going to talk about self-forgiveness. And this is a hard topic. It is a hard thing to talk about. And I told Lisa that I usually do she says she's a listener, which that's the thing that made me very happy today. You listen. That's just a bless. Thank you. That you listen to the podcast. And she says she's a listener and we want to talk about that self-forgiveness. And I said, I do want to be more personal about it and talk about like my own experiences with that. And that's a hard thing to talk about, self-forgiveness. And for me, that means like looking at something I did and a reaction I had or an action I took that I'm not proud of, or I really think badly about myself and judge myself for. And there's a lot of ways to take that, you know, but that's where I would start, you know, my self-judgments.
Yeah.
How would you describe it? How would you kind of
talk about self-forgiveness, you mean?
Yeah. How would you talk about it?
The reason I wrote about self-forgiveness in my book, because I was taught that forgiveness is for others. And I think that's how we're often taught, that we need to forgive, often without knowing what that means or looks like. And then what about, why we're so hard on ourselves that we're supposed to forgive others? So I really wrote about the self-forgiveness being an entry point, that I think through self-empathy and self-reflection and having compassion for ourselves first and foremost, and that's where we can really start to forgive others as a
Compassion for
natural process.
ourselves.
Yeah,
That makes
exactly.
sense. It's
It really
hard though.
does.
It's hard. I have some pink candles lit, and that's what they're for. They're for compassion.
Really,
In
I love
witchcraft,
that.
it's something self-love and compassion. And I didn't even think about that before I
Oh,
felt
wow.
like pink
Yeah,
today. And I
I
have
love
some red
that.
ones I always have, and those are the ones that are just there. But for my podcast candles, I picked pink today, and it's kind of
Wow.
yeah. In the magic world, that's like a compassion and self-love
Yes. And,
color.
you deserve to forgive yourself. You do, Lisa, and so does everyone listening. We really deserve to forgive ourselves, because otherwise we're never going to get to our full potential. If we keep judging and criticizing ourselves, we hold ourselves back in some ways, rather than owning it to yourself. Okay, I might have blown it that time, but you make sense in the context of your own
Yeah.
life, as do I. And so I think when you really allow yourself to understand how you acted in a way that you felt like wasn't like you, that you don't want to do it, you're going to have 1,000 more opportunities to do it differently. And I think it'll make it easier
That's
to
a good
just
point.
to really understand yourself and compassionately what was going on. And I think sometimes some of those things we do or say that we don't feel good about, they might actually redirect us to where we're meant to be. And maybe it's more about asking that the redirection is softer and more gentle and easier and
Yes.
less harsh. I feel like that might be
Yes,
true.
that for me, that's true.
Yeah.
Especially reactions. I
Yes.
wish I didn't react that way. I wish I could have held my tongue. I wish I could have held my anger, my temper, and thought about it before I reacted with my
Yeah.
mouth.
Well, and you might have been triggered. You might have been triggered, which
Yeah, I was triggered, but
an unhealed energetic attachment, kind of like an invisible landmine that you step
yes,
on or someone
yes,
steps
it's
on.
invisible.
Yeah. And then when
Yeah.
it's awakened, it's like, oh, like all the everything. And I think if you can even pause, like to really just pause before reacting, to be able to respond. And even if you say, wow, this really touched a nerve, I'd like to get back to you. If you're able to do that, it can really help.
I
Or
have
just
been
take the
able to do
time.
that. And you're right. It
Good.
does because
That shows you're
they
healing.
always say yes.
See?
Everyone
Yeah.
says yes, 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 of course.
And
That's
isn't that amazing?
amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
We both
'Cause
said that.
right. Because
We
maybe
both
we
said
feel like
amazing.
we did. Maybe we feel like we can't take that time,
Yeah.
but you absolutely can. And it'll make things better.
It
I
does feel like
found.
I can't take that time. I don't want to take someone's time, to it's almost like if I hurt someone, I don't want to take up any more of their time. Like I might hurt them some more. But then I feel like if I were to apologize for a reaction I had, say, or even if it wasn't a reaction, maybe it's an action I took. I'm not much of an action oriented person towards other people, really.
Okay.
It's more reactions that I have towards other people. They
Okay.
didn't do it right. And that's me being judgmental, and it's something I want to forgive myself for.
Yeah.
Being judgmental about that.
And high
I don't know.
expectations. And I imagine you have
Expectations.
some high expectations of yourself too,
Yeah.
I imagine. And maybe letting yourself off that hook as well.
Well, the high
be
expectations for myself aren't like things that I can achieve easily. Like,
Mhm.
well, I mean, not to make a bunch of money is easy, but it should be easier than I make it. But I want to achieve peace of mind. I want to achieve love. Achieve it's not something you achieve, but I want to continue to grow my self love. But there are things in the way that I want to forgive. Get out,
Yes.
like forgive and understand. Really,
Of course.
integrate into who I am and not just ignore it like it never happened.
Right. Right.
And it's some
Yeah.
people don't want to go back and have it presented to them, and they don't want to talk about it anymore.
Right. Sometimes that is the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just can't have that closure if you need it. For me, one thing that I've been dealing with is forgiving myself for not being there for my parents when they really needed me this past summer.
Okay.
In a situation where they I don't want to get too much into the situation.
Yeah.
They were they had some physical health issues, and I had a reason I couldn't help them.
Okay.
That was personal. I don't want to talk about that on the podcast reason. But basically I didn't want to spend the night.
Okay.
Stay overnight. And they wouldn't take like simple actions just for me to stay the night, for me to feel comfortable. Let's put it that way. And that kind of broke my heart,
Of course.
I said some really mean things.
Okay.
Okay. And I do wish I could say it differently. I wish I had
Have you told them that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good.
She's not ready. My mom's not ready to accept the apology, but I'm still writing them and everything.
But you said it, but you shared it. Yeah. You planted that seed and you're watering it. So it's okay to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm. I guess I feel like I need someone else's forgiveness to forgive myself. It's not true.
Well, I think that makes it easier when that happens. It definitely makes it easier. And the fact that your mom, she said she's not quite ready yet, that I think it touched a nerve within her. I think that triggered something.
Yeah.
That isn't even about you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably said some things that needed to be said.
I think so.
I imagine.
I felt like it. I needed to say them.
Yeah.
She didn't, I don't know if she needed to hear them though. She's old, she's older and she's sick and I shouldn't have said them,
Well, but at least I think it's out there and it's clear. It's free and clear from you. And I feel like she's going to be able to understand.
I hope so. I hope she can someday.
Absolutely. Yes. And ask for that. Ask the universe to.
I do. I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Those are very helpful tips, and asking help from the guides and God and angels and guides and guards and everything that helps. Whatever they may be, my butterflies, come to see me, butterflies. I don't know, whatever that kind of
stuff. The signs are. Maybe ask for a sign. Ask for a sign too, Lisa.
When I ask
that your mom is working on this.
Well, my mom's sister passed away about a year and a half ago, and I always associate black butterflies with her because she's a black butterfly. She's totally a witch and a total black butterfly, and I love her. And she got dementia when she was just about, I want to say about 10 years before she passed away.
Okay,
and I didn't know her anymore. No one knew her. She was that far gone for a long time, and she did pass away. And my mom has been very sad about that, and she's been scared about that happening to her because she's about the same age, I just can't imagine looking at that stuff at that age, being 77, 76 and looking at the end of my life. I can't imagine what that is like. And I keep saying to her, don't look at the end of your life. I mean, look at, I try to give her a different perspective, but she doesn't want it. And I can't shove my perspective down her throat.
Exactly.
Be right. But it's going to make her happier not to think about dying all the time is my perspective, but maybe not. Maybe she wants to. Maybe that's getting ready. I don't know. The truth is, I don't know what makes her feel better.
Exactly. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I've tried everything. Nothing does, except listening to her say no. That does seem to make her feel better.
Okay.
So that always makes people feel better to be listened to. Like you.
It does. It does. It's such a key element to just be heard.
Yeah, really.
Without having to fix it, even.
Yes, and you've been absolutely demonstrative of that, like just listening to me and letting me get it out. So, how can I work through this self-forgiveness for myself? I mean, the thing, I try to find the pinpointed issue.
Okay.
And I think it's just that I felt like my emotions weren't allowed to be expressed.
Okay.
That's what I feel like it is, because she didn't like them. They're uncomfortable to her. But I'm very emotional. I'm like a raging emotional. I'm in a Cancer ascendant,
Okay, yes, you're deeply
but I'm
feeling.
a Capricorn moon with a Taurus, so it's all weird if you look at the astrology.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
But I'm very emotional. But I've never been able to really express it correctly, but in a way that I'm comfortable with, that other people understand what I'm saying. It seems like, because they rephrase it back to me, and that's not what I said.
Like you're misunderstood.
Yeah, I'm misunderstood. Yeah. Okay.
So what was your question?
So, it's a good question. Basically, I'm misunderstood a lot. So I get a statement back to me that I don't understand.
Okay.
And then I react to it.
Okay.
So
do you ever ask, hey, that's
I do sometimes.
That's part of what I said, but I'm wondering if you heard the piece about blah, 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 and kind of go back and forth. for some clarification.
Say it like in a way. Did you notice where I was? Some of these people they turn it around and make it. They're not narcissists. The people I work with, people in my life, men, women, even, they aren't narcissists, I wouldn't say, but they have a way of spinning it back around where it's my fault.
Like it's hard for them to take personal responsibility and be accountable.
Yes, in my age group. At 50 anyway. Single people at 50. Yes.
Okay.
Not women, it's mainly men.
That would be hard. That, a man's not
my interests are male oriented. Like I like music and I like audio and I like making jewelry, just stuff that men usually do. And that's how I meet the men. And then they're in my age group. A lot of them just don't.
I think you really want a man who's self-reflective, it sounds like, and self-responsible and self-directive. So maybe even ask the universe for more of that, of men that are able to be accountable and
really about asking the universe for a man. Why haven't I done that?
Yes, like
I don't want one.
Babe, only you would know that. But I think, if you start to notice someone doesn't take personal responsibility well, it's good to know about them. Yes. And maybe it means your relationship can only go so deep. Because I think it's hard to have a deep connection with someone that's not self-accountable.
It is.
Like it's a limitation.
It is a limitation because you just hit a wall every time. Yeah. And it's a problem.
Right.
If it's theirs.
Right. Exactly. And that gets really frustrating.
Yeah. They won't learn or grow with you. And that's what happened in my first marriage. We didn't grow together. We grew apart. We were young. There's a big age difference, 5 years at that age at 21 and 26 but then when you get to the 32 and the 27, it really was,
Right. Definitely. Definitely it would.
Yeah. So I guess for the listeners, explain to them how you do, like what you just did really helped me. I don't know if you can tell our listeners, watchers.
You seem more at peace.
I am much more at peace and I just feel a lot better.
I'm glad.
But what do you do? Explain how you do. What are you? Who are you? Where do you come from? And how do you do this magic?
I'm a healer. I think it's really through tapping in to the experience you were having of really, really giving yourself a hard time for what you said to your mom, but knowing it was important, but knowing it was necessary. But sometimes the things that are necessary to say are hard and they might not feel so good, especially when the other person doesn't receive it in the way that we meant. So I think this is a journey with your mom. It's a lifelong relationship. And I think to really have hope that it's going to work out. And out of this situation, only good will come is a mantra that I love to invoke. I love
that. When you said it, I felt the power behind it. I was like, oh, is it a mantra?
And you said out of this situation, only good will come. And you can invoke that and speak that and intend that with your mom in this lifetime while you were still walking the earth together, that it is it's made right.
I will. I'll put it my way. You have it your way for your things, I guess.
Yeah, do it. Put it in your way.
Yes. That's perfect. I will do that every day and put positive energy towards our relationship. And see what happens.
And love.
It will. And put more energy towards loving her, I think, because I've been so
out of this situation, only love will come. Whatever you feel led.
Anything I feel led to do will be for
yes.
That. Yes. I'll keep
exactly.
Yeah. And I'll keep my Reiki principles in mind, or Reiki, the 5 Reiki principles. They're really meaningful to me. And whenever I say them, they help. I will not be angry today. I will not. Just for today, I will not.
Just
be
for today.
Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. And just for today, I will be kind to every living thing. That's my favorite.
I like that so much. That's a really good reminder. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, yes.
Sometimes I have to say them again because I did it a lot. Yeah. Say it over and over all day.
Yeah.
Where can listeners find you and find out about what you do?
My website is nolatherapy.com. It's NO for New Orleans, LA for Los Angeles, therapy.com. And that's also my Instagram, Nola Therapy. And I would love for people to reach out. And if they mention you, Lisa, and your podcast, I'll give you half off a first session. If you just mention Lisa or your show, and I'd be delighted to do that.
That you guys take her up on that. I mean, that was really amazing.
It'll be much like we did together.
That's amazing.
Today.
That's 50% off. That's freaking amazing, guys.
So it's a half off $190, just so people know.
That is so nice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wow. That's a really generous offer. Guys, take her up on that. I highly endorse that. And Also, if that doesn't help, it will though. You can go to Everclear, which is our sponsor. Everclear is an advice app, and it's a website called everclear.com. And the advice app is called just Everclear Advice App in the Google Play Store and in the Apple Store. I gotta have a drink. Well, you too. Yeah, we're talking, man.
Yes.
But Everclear is a place where you can get advice from psychics and empaths to get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And I am an advisor on Everclear under the name Lisa Russick. You can visit me there. I'm usually logged in between 12 and 2 Central most of the time. So on the weekdays. So
That's cool.
And I, like my last thing I told you I like to do is ask for some advice for you for the listeners. So let's say maybe there's some listeners, they're listening and they're like, man, I feel really bad about what I did to my mom, and make it about the mother. Cause like talking to your mom and dad about things that are really hard, emotional forgiveness type situations are hard, or even not talking about it, forgiving yourself for something deep down and not bringing it up with them is hard too. What kind of advice would you give to anyone listening who feels that way when they're listening to us talk and they want to take that first step, but it maybe it's been 20 years even, I mean, what would be your advice?
I think to keep in mind that I think our parents can get kind of rigid in their thinking and beliefs the older they get. And if you said something that you needed to say, but it didn't land well, I think know that they may or may not see it your way, but that you doing something that you needed to do to kind of clear it from you, from your energy, from your heart, it makes it valuable. And maybe just in your meditation and prayer, ask to be led. What are next steps if you're to initiate something, or if it's just to be sensitive and open to having things be mended more. I think ask for guidance from your guides and the universe and God and whatever language you use to just help with this.
Okay, I will. Thank you. Yeah. I will.
You're
That's
welcome.
exactly what I'll do. And I have been asking for more help towards accepting people as they are. The courage to change the things, the serenity prayer I've been focusing kind of in on.
Oh yeah.
And
absolutely.
So that's been helping me. And when you can't control something that you really want to, it's just like, eesh. So I'm trying to get that serenity, difference. And thank you. And you're helping me with it. And part of that for me is to forgive myself for things I can't control when I want to. And I forgive myself for trying to control them, because I can. And it's okay. It's okay that I can't control them. It's
absolutely.
Like in the world, I don't have all the answers. Right?
And finding peace might help too.
Point. I feel a lot better. I just could go to sleep.
I can tell. Yes.
Yeah, I could go out or I could go to sleep right now. I feel great. Thank you very much, Lisa.
You're so welcome, Lisa. My pleasure.
Listeners and watchers, she's just great. Don't you love her? And do you love the listeners and the watchers?
So very much. Y'all are the most important
to the
part
listeners
of the show.
And watchers. We are thirsty today. We were like drinkers. Yeah, we talk. Oh, makes us thirsty.
Yes.
You listeners are very good listeners because we're very thirsty.
That's funny. That's cute.
You have to compliment them.
Yes.
Totally. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Beautiful. Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much again, Lisa. And thank you, listeners and watchers. I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you may be. And have a great time. Peace. Peace out. Bye.